uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom!
G'day humans, today we are going to be looking at the SCAR-L. We are deep diving on one of the original 5.56 ARs that shipped out with PUBG Mobile when it kicked off operations in 2018. The SCAR is a hell of a gun, and a gun that I don't play often enough since I'm such a Rondo lover, and it does not drop naturally on Rondo. You can pick it up off the bots, however. I'm going to talk to you about the hipfire versus the M416, the bullet speed versus the M416, the recoil versus the M416. Of course I am, because I measured all those things, and I'm going to give you those numbers in just a short while. I'm also going to touch on the attachments for the SCAR-L and what it's best suited to doing in PUBG Mobile. And also a little bit about the attachments you can expect to run with it, because as you can see here, I'm running muzzle brake, laser sight, and a 3X, which, despite the fact that it's not the most possible recoil control you can get or the most possible damage addition you can get, it's still doing just fine at, I don't know, spraying stuff and hip firing and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Let's talk firstly about the testing. So the big testing that we did first and foremost was I took 30 rounds from both of these guns. I measured the horizontal and vertical recoil pixel by pixel between each shot, and it turns out that, in no surprise, the SCAR-L's recoil is not as good as the M416's. It has a 12% negative recoil number for horizontal recoil, the most important recoil of all, but does actually have 4% less vertical recoil than the M416, which was a little bit surprising. And then I did a hipfire test where I mapped every single round within the circle of a full bloom hipfire reticle while moving up against a wall. And then I took those two maps and I put them on a green screen, chroma keyed out the background, and combined them together over the top of a test dummy. So we could actually see, oh, and I needed to increase that to the same size as the original test, which was 310.3%. So we did that and then overlaid on top, and the purple is the SCAR-L and the orangey yellowy the M416. And what we found was, geez, they're pretty bloody similar. I think the SCAR-L was slightly better on hipfire than the M416, but it was a struck match between the two. And neither of them are good enough that you would run them in preference to, say, a UMP or an Uzi or something along those lines. Even with the laser sight on the SCAR-L, it's better, but it's not the best. After that, we tested the bullet speed, and the SCAR-L again came in second here. The bullet speed of the M416, 909 meters a second, which is very, very quick. The SCAR-L was very, very quick too, but it was 857. Now, they both fire at 638 rounds per minute, and you'd think, well, the M4 is obviously better, but here's the kicker. The SCAR-L definitely has a damage output advantage. If you both fire at the same rate and one of you has more damage, it means you can output more damage. So at 42 base, you're looking at a gun that has a little bit of an edge. A lot of the time at the moment, I'm running a barrel extender on my weapons. And the reason for that is not just that you do extra damage, it's 1.1 base damage extra. On a gun like the AKM, that means that your limb damage is now doing 33, and you're able to basically three-shot people by shooting them in the legs. So you're looking at things that help you reach a break point. What you get with the SCAR-L is a gun that I couldn't really find any reason to run the AR barrel extender on versus a muzzle brake. Whereas if I'm running an M4, I want to run the AR barrel extender because running the barrel extender will get me up to 25 base damage into a level 2 vest, which means instead of having to hit someone 5 times in a level 2 vest, I've only got to hit them 4 times. And that's a whole shot save, which is how you win games, right? But with the SCAR, you don't get that. There's no real huge uptick by putting the barrel extender on top of your already excellent 42 base damage. And while It's a great gun like this, even at range. For spraying with a red dot, you can see there, the recoil is really easy to control. I don't think that it's the best spray weapon, right? So what you're looking for with this gun is versatility. So run a muzzle brake with it. You're not going to lose out, and you're going to get much better recoil control running the muzzle brake. And then I'd probably run a laser sight with it because I'm using this as my primary. It is a really good gun in the 35 meter in range. It's absolutely outstanding. Of course, it's not as good as the AUG. And for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, I'll probably have to do another AUG video. That's what that guy's running there, just so you can see. But it's great with a 2X. This is another one of my little, this and a DP28, I will run a 2X on all the time. And it's that perfect kind of range for the SCAR. Now you can run this to spray, absolutely, because all the 5.56 ARs have what we term a light recoil profile. It's not as good as an M416, but because you don't need to play that AR barrel extender game, you can put a muzzle brake on this thing, and there's your 16% horizontal recoil and 8% vertical recoil reduction, as opposed to the 7% horizontal recoil you get from putting a barrel extender on the weapon. So that more than makes up for the issues that you have with the M416 versus the SCAR-L in terms of horizontal recoil control. Now, the M4, of course, I'm being a little bit sneaky here because it can mount a heavy stock, and that's game breaking. But for all that, this gun is a better CQC option, and it is a better mid-range option. Its barrel speed, I mean, its bullet speed means that as soon as you start getting past, you know, the 80 meter mark, you're far better off running an M4 because bullet speed coupled with light recoil profile is what makes, you know, the cookie crumble in terms of spraying. I wouldn't go whacking like a 6X down to a 3 on this and using it as my primary spray over an M416. Like, in all honesty, the M4 is just a better spray weapon. But I do prefer this as a primary 5.56 AR weapon. Again, it's not the AUG, but it's as close as you're going to get, okay? Let's talk about a couple of other little weird things on this. Obviously, the periscope, the iron sight on the SCAR-L is horrible, but some people like it. Now, that is personal preference only. It's like a little tower with a peephole at the top, and it blocks too much of my view below it for me to be happy with it. But for all that, some people love it. So what are you going to do? I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of lovely skins for the gun, but aesthetically, I think it's very, very pleasing. I much prefer the look of this to the look of the M4. And I actually prefer the look of the SCAR with a red dot to the look of an AUG. It leaves the QBZ95 for dead, which is one of my least favorite looking guns in the game. It's very loud. I've got to turn it down quite a bit. But for all that, you can mount all the lower rail attachments. You can put a suppressor on it if the noise is bothering you. And it does all the things that are written on the box. SCAR-L's a great gun. Where would I rank it in terms of favorites? Well, it's not my favorite 5.56 AR, and it's not my favorite AR in the game, but it's in the top 4. And that's, for me, a pretty freaking big call. You've got AUG, you've got AK. I don't know, it's right there for me, neck and neck with the M762. Oh God, I need to rank the ARs because I just started thinking about. So anyway, that's another video. Let's not spoil it. I hope you've enjoyed this look inside the SCAR-L universe. And if you've got any questions about the stats and the numbers and how I get them, because I do go through them in a scientific, evidence-based fashion rather than just making stuff up, and I measure things. There's a muzzle and a grip video already on channel that has the latest up-to-date numbers that you probably want to look at in case you need to know this stuff. Otherwise, just follow along, subscribe, attend the live streams, look after your dog, walk him too, and eat your veggies. Until next time, au revoir, amigos. Stay safe on the battlefield, and bye for now. Oh, follow me on the socials, @TheBushka. All good social branding.